Hey guys, what's going on? Greenville Gear. Fun day today. I have 10 cards that I'm going to send off to PSA, and they're all vintage, 50s and 60s. And I, for the past year or so, have looked for bargains in GMA slabs, BGS slabs, GAI, all that kind of stuff. And so 9 of the 10 are Crackouts. And so they were bargains, they were deals, and my collection of vintage Hall of Famers, just because I'm sort of particular about these things, is I like to have them in PSA holders. I don't really care about a lot of my collection, but for that particular part of my collection, I just like that consistency. So let me show you the cards and walk you through what they were in the old slabs, or where they came from, and in about a year, you'll be able to see the cards come back. So please subscribe if you want to see the outcome. It'll be a while, but I'm doing this order, by the way, through PC Sports Cards, and this will be a value submission. So here's a Minnie Minoso. First card, 1954 Bowman. This is card number 38, and this was in a GMA slab at a 5. And I actually think, in terms of PSA, this might be in that range. I should write down some predictions, but this card is pretty clean, and I picked this up before Minoso went to the Hall, but I just love this card. I think it's my only 54 Bowman, and just one of my favorite cards in my collection, to be real honest. So that one will get sent off, and again, I think PSA 4 or 5, something like that, should be pretty good. My general experience on these GMAs and so on is they seem to be overgraded for GMA. Next card is this 1959 Hank Aaron. This one looks like a vintage card, much more so than the Minoso. A lot more wear. Edges aren't great. Wear on the top, on the surface. Bad corner up here. So a few problems with this card, but just a great vintage card. I love it. So this is the 59 Hank Aaron. This is card number 380 in the set. And it was also in a GMA holder at a 4.5. I think it'll score lower than that for PSA. I'm thinking 2. I'm not sure. But I like the eye appeal of the card. Pretty well centered. And we shall see about that one. I'm not sure how that will turn out. A cleaner 59 card is this Duke Snider that I picked up. This was also one of these bargains, and you can tell just how clean and bright that back of that Snider is card versus the Hank Aaron. There is a pretty, it doesn't show up great on the camera, but there's a pretty striking distance. So here's the Snider, 59 tops. And this is card number 20 in the set. And this was also in a GMA holder, and it had a 5.5. And I don't know, this one's pretty clean, nicely centered. I think this one could do okay, and do pretty well maybe for PSA, maybe in the 5 range, possibly a 6. I'm not sure. I could be way off. Let me know. I mean, it's hard to tell in these cards. A big card in my collection is this one. This is the 1960 Topps Willie Mays, and I had this in a Beckett holder. And what's interesting about this one is the Beckett grade was, I thought, pretty low. It was a 3, very good. And just generally, this card looks pretty good. And this corner's not great, this corner's not great, but it always just looked kind of clean in that Beckett holder. So here's the 60 Willie Mays. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful card. I'm just happy to have it in my collection. And so we'll get it slabbed in a PSA holder. We'll see what PSA says. I don't know. Beckett holder was a 3, maybe 4, I'm not sure. But that seems about right. It'll probably bear out about the same. The next card I'm kind of debating at this point to really include in the order. I mean, I had said 10. It might realistically be 9. This might be the one that I cut. This Whitey Ford is, I think, it's got this ink here, a bad corner here. I'm not sure. Now, here's proof of the overgrade. This is a BCCG pre-grade, and they had it as a 7. So maybe a 7 out of 20, but certainly not a 7 out of 10. So there you can even see some marking on the back and so on. So this may end up in my vintage binder, and I may save the money on the grading fee on this one, just because I know how this is going to turn out with the mark and so on. So that's the Whitey Ford. So That one I may pull. Here is a Bob Gibson. This is a neat card. This one is the only one that wasn't a Crackout in this submission. And I picked this up at an antique store. And I think I got a pretty good deal on it. This is the 1961 tops, of course. Just good eye appeal. Clean stuff. I'll have to get that. That's something in the penny sleeve. I don't think it's on the card, but pretty nice centering. Overall, pretty sharp, pretty good edges, pretty good corners. So we'll see on this one. I don't usually buy raw vintage like that, but this was in the antique store, like I said, and it was too good of a deal. So I picked it up. The Gibson, card 211, 1961 top. So we'll see what happens on that one. That's the only one that's kind of a mystery, since it had never been graded before. The next card is this 65 Don Drysdale. Just such a great image and photo. Pretty cool set. I don't have a lot of 65. It's got some soft corners on the bottom for sure. This is card 260 in the set. You can see the wear on the top corners as well. So this was a GMA, and this was graded by GMA as a 5 originally. I'm not sure if it's going to get a 5 from PSA. I think it's a 3 or a 4. So we'll see what happens here. But just a great baseball card. Another 65 tops, another Hall of Famer. You're noticing that that's what I sort of stick to in the vintage if I can. And I'll usually get mid to lower grade copies, but just love having them in my collection. Good eye appeal here. This one's a little sharper. This is a GAI pre-grade. Gaylord Perry from 1965. This one was graded by GAI, a little higher than the Drysdale, at a 6.5, excellent to mint. I don't know. I think PSA could possibly go 5 or 6 on this one. It's off-centered left to right on the back. Little soft here, but maybe a 5 from PSA, and I'll be happy with that. So we'll see what happens with that. 2 more cards. This Willie Mays 1966 tops. And this one's a nice one. Except, you know, you kind of look at it this way, but when you get up close on it, there is, oh good, you can see it, a wrinkle here, wrinkle here, wrinkle here. Centering's not great. This is a pretty beat up little vintage card. Again, card 1 in the set, so the card's going to get some extra wear because of that. Still, it's a Willie Mays 1966 tops. This was graded by Beckett previously as a 3. Probably overgraded. I think it'll be a PSA 1 or 2. I don't know. I don't have high hopes for it, but I'll just be happy to have it in the collection. I know this one is probably the lowest grade of the bunch. Remember that Whitey Ford was pretty rough too, but because it's Willie, we'll submit it, and I think it's just going to look cool in the slab. So that's that. The last card is also 1966 tops. Might be my only one of this guy, now that I think about it, and it's Sandy Koufax. And so this is card number 100 from the 1966 top set. Really bad on the back, left to right. But for me, I love the eye appeal of the front. Pretty clean, a little bit of wear, but not bad. It was a GMA 3.5. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. And check back for the reveal. See ya.